Chapter 516, Second Grade Divine General. He brandished his sword. A poignant sword stroke emerged. Beautiful and enchanting. It was the third move of heart-killing sword technique, enchant. The sword light even enthralled Emperor Fengxiao and the red-robed woman who were outside the gladiator arena. That move. A hint of surprise flashed in Emperor Fengxiao's eyes. It was a poignant sword move, intoxicating, powerful and occult. Seeing this, Emperor Fengxiao was stunned, feeling like he had been struck by an electric shock. He was good at sword principle and believed that few in the monster continent could be his rivals. But the sword move Jian Wushuang unleashed just now had touched him. Yes, it touched him. BG Container 63275 CC1F Display, Flex Direction, Column Align Items, Center Justify Content, Center Z Index, 214-748-3647. Important. Emperor Fengxiao closed his eyes and replayed the move in his mind. A sword move which he hadn't understood for years suddenly became clear. All of a sudden. That's it. I have been walking on the wrong path. Emperor Fengxiao murmured, then opened his surprised eyes. He mastered such a unique sword skill. Emperor Fengxiao looked at Jian Wushuang. He didn't know that heart-killing sword technique was created by Sword Ancestor, which was also Sword Ancestor's best sword skill. Though he was strong in sword principle, he was much weaker compared with Sword Ancestor. Therefore, it was normal that Sword Ancestor's best sword skill would touch him. I should thank him. Emperor Fengxiao took an earnest look at Jian Wushuang. At this moment, Jian Wushuang had defeated the demonic ape puppet fighter with realm suppression and the third move of heart-killing sword technique. The fourth level, passed. He should be able to pass it. The red-robed woman opened her eyes wide with a shocked face. She didn't study sword principle and had no idea how special the move was. What shocked her was that Jian Wushuang had passed the fourth level. It should be known that those who passed the fourth level were at the peak even among second-grade divine generals. Top second-grade divine generals were ranked only second to the Divine Emperor. In the gladiator arena, the demonic beast puppet fighter of the fifth level appeared. When Jian Wushuang fought with the demonic beast puppet fighter, he found that it was stronger by at least 2 levels than the demonic ape puppet fighter, whether in speed or in power. The demonic beast puppet fighter of the fifth level is much stronger. I may not be able to defeat it even using Sword Soul and trying my best. Jian Wushuang thought. To pass the fourth level is enough. There is no need to pass more. Having decided, he retreated to the perimeter of the gladiator arena, looked up at the stands out of the restriction, back to where he entered and walked out of the gladiator arena. He didn't plan to use all his trump cards here. But the strength he had shown was shocking enough. Red Butterfly. In the stand, Emperor Fengxiao took a glance at the red-robed woman behind him. Divine Emperor. The red-robed woman said respectfully. Take this to him. Emperor Fengxiao gave the red-robed woman a jade slip. Taking it, the red-robed woman was confused. But after she recognized what it was, she was in great shock. Divine Emperor, this is. The red-robed woman's voice was trembling. She knew the value of the jade slip. It was a jade slip that lots of divine generals were eager to own. And it was also important for Emperor Fengxiao himself. How could Emperor Fengxiao give this as a present to Jian Wushuang? Just do as you are told. Emperor Fengxiao said. Yes. Danju took a deep breath and nodded heavily. Then she left. In the stand sat Emperor Fengxiao with the corners of his mouth curled up. After mastering that sword movement, my strength has improved to a new level. The jade slip was nothing compared with what I received because of him. Emperor Fengxiao murmured, the jade slip is useful to Jian Wushuang. It can be my gift to thank him. The journey has not been made in vain. Emperor Fengxiao stood up and stretched. After a quick move, he had disappeared from the stand. In the open space, all the experts participating in the assessment gathered and waited. When Jian Wushuang appeared in the open space, those experts looked towards him. Why did he take such a long time? Their eyes were full of curiosity. They had all fought with the demonic beast's puppet fighters in the gladiator arena. Some took a while and some were brief. But Jian Wushuang took the longest time, even longer than Jin Ling's. A moment later, the red-robed woman arrived at the open space. Now, I will announce the results. The red-robed woman took out a list and started to read. The first one, He Kang, pass, first grade Divine General. The second one, Luo Yi, pass, first grade Divine General. The third one, first grade Divine General. The fourth one, fail. The red-robed woman read everyone's name. More than 30 experts participated in the test. Almost all of them had reached 7 Cloud Realm, so most of them would pass it. Only 1 or 2 failed. Jin Ling, pass, second grade Divine General. The red-robed woman said. All people present looked towards the red-haired man, Jin Ling, but didn't feel surprised. Because it was only he that reached 8 Cloud Realm and he should be a second grade Divine General. Jin Ling himself also thought he deserved it. The next one, continued the red-robed woman. Finally, the red-robed woman read the last one's name, Jian Wushuang. The last one, Jian Wushuang, pass, second grade Divine General. The red-robed woman looked at Jian Wushuang after reading. All experts present looked towards Jian Wushuang, including Jin Ling. It was normal that Jin Ling became a second grade Divine General, because he was at 8 Cloud Realm. But Jian Wushuang. Chapter 517, A Gift from Emperor Fengxiao. There is another second grade Divine General apart from me. Jin Ling glanced at Jian Wushuang. He said with a sneer, this must be because he just met the requirements by squeaking through the 3rd level. He was proud as a peacock. Although Jian Wushuang was appointed a second grade Divine General like him, Jin Ling still thought Jian Wushuang was weaker than him. After all, there were differences in strength though both were second grade Divine Generals. But at the moment, the red-robed woman looked at Jian Wushuang and continued, Jian Wushuang, you performed well in the gladiator arena. Emperor Fengxiao praised you and decided to give you a present. After this announcement, she threw the jade slip from Emperor Fengxiao to Jian Wushuang. Catching the jade slip and holding it, Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. Emperor Fengxiao gave me a gift. Looking at the golden jade slip in his hand, he didn't find anything special except for its aura and the number 10 on it. The open space was in an uproar. Many experts present threw admiring glances at Jian Wushuang. .bg container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important, did Emperor Fengxiao praise Jian Wushuang and give him a gift? Usually, divine emperors of the Monster Exterminating League never praise an ordinary warrior. To receive a present is a rare honor. It means that Emperor Fengxiao thinks highly of him. If he keeps improving, it's highly possible that he can study under Emperor Fengxiao. People in the open space were freely discussing. No one noticed that at the perimeter of the open space, the red-haired young man, Jin Ling, was staring at the jade slip in Jian Wushuang's hand in shock. That's a pledge of the Earth Core Palace, a golden one. How could this be? Such a precious treasure is hard to obtain even if it were my father. How could Emperor Fengxiao give it to him? Others didn't know the jade slip's value, but Jin Ling did. That was why he was shocked. The jade slip is so valuable. But it seems that this young man is not aware of this. After looking at Jian Wushuang, Jin Ling narrowed his eyes and felt envious. Bastard! If he were not here, Emperor Fengxiao might give it to me. It's his fault. Hatred arose in Jin Ling but was carefully concealed. No one even noticed it. All right, those who failed can leave now. Those who pass come to me and take your ID tokens, said the red-robed woman. Those who passed, including Jian Wushuang, went forward. A Divine General token had a special aura. Those around could perceive it after the token was refined. Thus they would know the identity of the token's master. Jian Wushuang received a second-grade Divine General token from the red-robed woman and made himself its master. All of you can leave now, the red-robed woman said and waved her hand. They all went to the hall of the Saint Castle. In the hall, Qinghua was waiting for him at the counter, holding a pot of wine and talking with the blue-haired beauty. Qinghua. Jian Wushuang went to him. Fellow Wushuang, how did you go? Qinghua looked at Jian Wushuang and asked, did you pass it? Yes. I'm a second-grade divine general now. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. A second-grade divine general? Usually only an 8-cloud realm expert would qualify, marveled Qinghua. Then he laughed and said, I knew you could pass the assessment. To be a divine general means that you have been admitted into the holy place. Wushuang, do you want to go to the holy place? The holy place. Jian Wushuang was intrigued. It was not the first time he heard about the holy place. The holy place of Monster Exterminating League was a cultivation sanctuary for humans on the monster continent. It contained many opportunities. Many divine generals, even divine emperors of Monster Exterminating League, cultivated in the holy place, which was also open to them. Of course, but not now. Having been in the monster continent for so long, it's my first time visiting the city. I want to have a look first. Jian Wushuang said. Okay, I'll go with you. Qinghua laughed. Then they walked outside of the Saint Castle. Both of them didn't notice that a red-haired man in a corner was gazing at Jian Wushuang carefully. After observing Jian Wushuang leaving the Saint Castle, Jinling pondered, then followed them. Heaven Wing City was bustling with many shops. A moment later, Jian Wushuang and Qinghua arrived at a big black pavilion. It's Heaven Wing Pavilion, the biggest market in Heaven Wing City for buying and selling. The purchasing price is 90 of the selling price. Selling to them might incur a little loss, but it is convenient. Qinghua said. Let's enter and have a look. Jian Wushuang stepped into the Heaven Wing Pavilion. Heaven Wing Pavilion was 3 stories and there were many treasures in each story. Entering the hall of the first floor, Jian Wushuang saw many treasures, but they were all common. Jian Wushuang was uninterested in them, but many warriors of the tribes were perusing the treasures. 2 lords, most of the treasures in the first floor are common grade. It's better for you to go to the 3rd floor if you want to buy something. An attendant walked to them and said. Jian Wushuang and Qinghua looked at each other. Both of them had refined divine general tokens, and that special aura was easy to be perceived. Therefore, others could recognize them immediately. They didn't delay in the 1st floor anymore and walked up the stairs to the hall of the 3rd floor of Heaven Wing Pavilion. The number of treasures on the 3rd floor was less than on the 1st floor, but more valuable. Chapter 518. Blood Kailin Leather Armor. Jian Wushuang wandered around the 3rd floor. Many treasures were present, but Jian Wushuang realized that nearly half of them were used to strengthen the body. Jian Wushuang even saw Purple Heaven Thunderbolt and 9th Heaven Thunderbolt. 2 valuable body-enhancing thunderbolts. Many of these treasures were new and unknown to Jian Wushuang. Luckily, there was a brief introduction for each item on the shelf. Suddenly, he was attracted by 1. Blood Kailin Leather Armor. Jian Wushuang was reading the description on the shelf. Blood Kailin Leather Armor, refined from hides of Blood Kailin Demonic Beast of rank 8 and Corundum, has an amazing defense which reduces impact forces. Its price is 8 million raw gems. Jian Wushuang was interested. He had seen defensive armors, but none of them were convenient to wear. Besides, this had an amazing defense. Hides of Blood Kailin Demonic Beast at rank 8 and Corundum. Qinghua was shocked when he read that. .bg container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important rank 8 was equal to 8th cloud realm. Rank 8 monsters were peak monsters and only rank 9 monsters or monster kings rarer. Blood Kailin Demonic Beast was a terrifying species among rank 8 monsters. They were good at defense. Their hard hides were so tough that only divine emperors could destroy them. And Corundum was the hardest, or Qinghua knew. An armor made of hides of Blood Kailin Demonic Beast of rank 8 in Corundum. How could it not be strong in defense? My strong body plus the Blood Kailin leather armor would surely improve my defense capability by a lot. Jian Wushuang squinted and thought. The blood Kylin leather armor was useful to him in strengthening his life-saving skill. 8 million raw gems, Jian Wushuang murmured. Just like in the Divine Land, people on the monster continent traded with raw gems. But an ordinary first-grade divine general on the monster continent could only have 2 million raw gems, far less than what a marquis in the Divine Land had. In the Divine Land, there were only a few marquis experts. Each one was a top expert with a huge territory. Surely they had more gems. Even the weakest marquis in the Divine Land had more than 10 million raw gems. Jian Wushuang killed Marquis Nanyu and took his interspatial ring. So he was able to afford this. Fellow Wushuang, are you interested in the blood Kylin leather armor? Qinghua looked towards him. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Keep its name in mind and pay for it at the counter downstairs. Qinghua said. They looked around some more, then went downstairs after not finding anything else they wanted. At the counter of the hall on the first floor of Heaven Wing Pavilion. I want blood Kylin leather armor, Jian Wushuang said. Wait a moment. A purple-haired elder behind the counter nodded. Soon he brought a blood-colored but thin armor to Jian Wushuang. Blood Kylin leather armor, 8 million raw gems. The purple-haired elder said. I don't have that many raw gems, may I pay for it with other treasures? Asked Jian Wushuang. Okay. The purple-haired elder nodded. Heaven Wing Pavilion purchases all treasures at 90 of their selling price. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. Not caring too much, he was going to take out some to buy the blood Kylin leather armor. Right at the moment. Wait. A voice echoed. Jian Wushuang turned and saw a red-haired man bearing a saber on his back walking towards him. It's him. Jian Wushuang recognized that it was Jin Ling, the other second-grade divine general from this assessment. Jin Ling stepped forward and said to the purple-haired elder at the counter, I'll take it. Then he took out an interspatial ring. Jian Wushuang's face fell. The purple-haired elder at the counter frowned and said, Lord, I'm sorry but the blood Kylin leather armor has already been bought by this divine general. I know. I just want to buy it and give it to him. Jin Ling said with a smile and kindly looked at Jian Wushuang. Give it to me. Jian Wushuang felt awkward. They didn't know each other well. It was just that both of them had passed the test and become second-grade divine generals. Why did Jin Ling want to give the blood Kylin leather armor to him as a gift? 8 million raw gems, only a few of the second-grade divine generals on the monster continent could afford this. Jin Ling, why? Jian Wushuang asked. Just to make friends. Jin Ling said. Oh. Jian Wushuang didn't believe this. Was he really so generous as to give him a blood Kylin leather armor worth 8 million raw gems as a friendship gift? After paying, Jin Ling passed it to Jian Wushuang. Thanks. Jian Wushuang thanked him and took it. Qinghua, let's go, Jian Wushuang said. Then they walked out of the Heaven Wing Pavilion. Wait, Jin Ling shouted. Jian Wushuang stopped and looked back to Jin Ling. Jin Ling, anything else? Jin Ling's mouth curled up. Why did he give it to him if he had no request? There is one thing. Brother Wushuang, I know Emperor Fengxiao gave you a jade slip. Jin Ling said with a smile and called him brother. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. The thing is, the jade slip Emperor Fengxiao gave you is important to me. Therefore, I hope you can sell it to me. I promise to give you a good price. Jin Ling said earnestly. Buy the jade slip from me. Jian Wushuang looked at Jin Ling with an interesting smile. Chapter 519, Falling Out with Jian Wushuang. He really came for the jade slip. Jian Wushuang sneered secretly. He had guessed that this was what Jin Ling had come for secretly. It's an honor that Emperor Fengxiao gave the jade slip to me. How can I let him down by selling it? Jian Wushuang said. That's not true. Jin Ling said, to keep his kindness in mind is more important than the jade slip itself. After a pause, Jin Ling continued saying, Brother Wushuang, the jade slip is useless to you but useful to me. I hope you can do me a favor. He said this with sincerity. He thought that Jian Wushuang did not know the jade slip's value. Because he had learnt in the Saint Castle that Jian Wushuang had come from an ordinary tribe and that there was nothing special about his background. He had also never been to the holy place before. It was highly possible that he knew nothing about the jade slip. Therefore, it was possible for him to trick Jian Wushuang out of the jade slip as long as Jian Wushuang did not know its value. Jin Ling was right. Jian Wushuang really knew nothing about the jade slip. He didn't even have the chance to ask Qing Hua. However, there was one thing that Jin Ling didn't expect. .bg container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important. Jian Wushuang was not stupid. He was not an ignorant bumpkin who was naive and unaware of things. Step by step, he had experienced many crises and troubles. How could he be foolish like Jin Ling? He must be kidding himself in expecting to get the jade slip from Jian Wushuang with just a few words. Jian Wushuang threw an interspatial ring at Jin Ling and said coldly, "The treasures in the interspatial ring are worth 8 million raw gems. This should cover the cost of the blood Kailin leather armor. Stop trying to get the jade slip." Brother Wushuang. Jin Ling was anxious. "Qing Hua, let's go." Jian Wushuang did not spare a second glance for Jin Ling and walked off with Qing Hua outside the Heaven Wing Pavilion. Gazing at Jian Wushuang's back, Jin Ling's hopeful, nervous, and anxious eyes became cold with rising hatred and killing intent. Finally, as Jian Wushuang stepped out of the gate, Jin Ling's hatred exploded. "Stop!" Swish! Jin Ling rushed out like a flowing light. Right after Jian Wushuang and Qing Hua stepped out of the Heaven Wing Pavilion and moved onto the street, they heard a sharp crackling sound from behind, then a distorted figure passed by and stopped in front of them. Seeing Jin Ling who stood in front of him with a distorted face, Jian Wushuang frowned. "Is he so easy to irritate?" Jian Wushuang sneered and said, "Jin Ling, what do you want?" "What do I want?" Jin Ling stared at Jian Wushuang like a poisonous snake. "Jian Wushuang, you better sell it to me. Otherwise." "Otherwise? What?" Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold immediately. He had politely called him Brother Wushuang in the Heaven Wing Pavilion. But now, his face had changed so quickly. "What? You want to force us?" Qing Hua sneered at Jin Ling too. Though he didn't know what Emperor Fengxiao had given to Jian Wushuang, he knew what Jin Ling had done. Jin Ling didn't answer him. But his eyes were full of killing intent. "Do you want to fight? Don't forget you are in Heaven Wing City." Jian Wushuang said coldly. "Ha ha, look, someone wants to fight here." Qing Hua shouted. Hearing his words, many people on the street gathered around them. So did the guards of Heaven Wing City who arrived at the first time. 3 divine generals. The guards were also under the command of the Monster Exterminating League and most of them were divine generals. Therefore they perceived the aura of their divine general tokens. "Sirs, you should know the rules of Heaven Wing City. If you fight here..." The leading guard frowned, gazing at the trio. "Don't look at us, it's him." Qing Hua pointed at Jin Ling and said coldly, "We just walked out of the Heaven Wing Pavilion. This man wanted a treasure belonging to my friend and is forcing my friend to sell it to him. We refused, so he blocked our way." "Oh." The guards looked towards Jin Ling. People around were all watching Jin Ling and whispering, "Such bad behavior. The Heaven Wing City is one of the 8 cities. No one is allowed to act like that. What treasure is this? Even causing a divine general to act like that." Jin Ling, while being stared at, became sullen and his eyes were cold as ice. Looking at Jian Wushuang, he said, "Jian Wushuang, there is one thing you should know. My name is Jin Ling. My father is Emperor Golden Snake." Hearing that, Jian Wushuang did nothing, but Qing Hua suddenly narrowed his eyes. A noise arose from the crowd. Apparently they all knew Emperor Golden Snake. The faces of those guards also changed. "Jian Wushuang, you should know what I mean." Jin Ling sneered. The people around looked queer. Threats. An unscrupulous but real threat. Many looked at Jian Wushuang with pity in their eyes. Emperor Golden Snake was one of the 108 divine emperors. How could any human without a special background dare to irritate him? Compromise with him. Sell it to him. Maybe you will suffer a loss, but it's better than offending Emperor Golden Snake. He is unlucky to have troubled Emperor Golden Snake's son. I heard that Emperor Golden Snake always defends his son. People around were discussing, and many advised Jian Wushuang to compromise by selling the jade slip to Jinling. Fellow Wushuang. Qinghua frowned and looked at Jian Wushuang, but he didn't say any more. Jian Wushuang stood in the center of the crowd with hands behind his back. Jinling haughtily stared at Jian Wushuang. All of them were waiting for Jian Wushuang's answer. Suddenly Jian Wushuang raised his head and asked with confusion, "I'm sorry, who is Emperor Golden Snake? I don't know him." Chapter 520. Earth Core Palace Token. Shock. The people on the street were stupefied and stared at Jian Wushuang. They had tried to predict Jian Wushuang's reaction and could understand both his decision and arguments, because these two reactions were basic human instincts. However, they didn't expect that Jian Wushuang would say things like that. Who was Emperor Golden Snake? Never heard of him? Emperor Golden Snake, one of the 108 divine emperors, was very famous in the human race. It was unbelievable that Jian Wushuang had never heard of him. His reaction completely offended Emperor Golden Snake. But in fact, Jian Wushuang had indeed not heard of Emperor Golden Snake. He wasn't from the monster continent and had arrived here only a few days ago. It was normal that he did not know of Emperor Golden Snake. Good, great. BG container 63275 CC1F display. Flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important. Jinling was apoplectic with fury. He grinned at Jian Wushuang, stared at him and said, "Jian Wushuang, I will remember you. The world is small and I will definitely meet you one day." He turned away and then left with a snort. After witnessing this, the bystanders stared at Jian Wushuang for a while and then left. Goodness, he said he had never heard of Emperor Golden Snake. This divine general really has guts. Yes, he does. However, he has really upset Emperor Golden Snake. I heard that Emperor Golden Snake is vengeful. I'm afraid this divine general is already in trouble. People sighed, even the sergeants in the guard army looked at Jian Wushuang with pity. After that, they all left. Well, you are really in trouble now. Qinghua frowned and then looked at Jian Wushuang. My friend, you just arrived in the monster continent, so you haven't heard of the Emperor Golden Snake yet. But I know he is monstrous even among the 108 divine emperors. He is called Emperor Golden Snake because he is as malevolent as a viper. Besides, he is known as the one who always takes revenge for offenses. All the people in the Monster Exterminating League know that whoever offends Emperor Golden Snake would definitely suffer a lot. Really? Jian Wushuang smiled but didn't really care. Qinghua was shocked. He explained it so seriously, but Jian Wushuang didn't seem to care about it. However, he didn't know that Jian Wushuang wasn't worried about Emperor Golden Snake at all. He has been cultivating till now and had already upset numerous people. Thousands of people even wanted to kill him, but he was still alive and well. Like in Divine Land, he became the enemy of the world and his opponents were all at the three ancestors level. He was able to handle them, not to mention Emperor Golden Snake, who had just reached the Cloud Realm. My current strength might not be able to confront a divine emperor. However, it is also not easy for him to kill me if I try my best to defend. Jian Wushuang thought secretly. He was confident with his current strength. Okay, forget about Emperor Golden Snake. Let's talk about Emperor Fengxiao. Qinghua looked at him again. Jinling just mentioned that you received a jade slip as a gift from the Emperor Fengxiao. What happened to it? I don't really know, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. While I was performing the assessment of divine generals, Emperor Fengxiao was nearby. When I finished, someone gave me a jade slip and said it was a gift from the Emperor Fengxiao, who thought I did a good job in the assessment. Oh, really? Qinghua was surprised and said, I would like to have a look at that jade slip. Without hesitating, Jian Wushuang showed him the golden jade slip. This is... Qinghua was shocked when he saw it. Qinghua, Do you know this jade slip? Jian Wushuang asked. Of course. This is the Earth Core Palace token. Besides, it is a golden one, which means that whoever has it can enter the 4th level of the Earth Core Palace. The number in this token represents the number of days that the holder can stay in the palace. Qinghua stared at the number, which showed 10. 10 days. I can stay in the 4th level of the Earth Core Palace for 10 days. Pest. Qinghua could not help feeling very envious or even a bit jealous. He looked at Jian Wushuang and said, "My friend, now I know why Jinling has been trying so hard to get this jade slip." Is this jade slip very precious? Jian Wushuang asked. Precious? More than that. Qinghua answered, "My friend, I should say this token can easily make numerous divine generals in the Monster Exterminating League go crazy. Not to mention 10 days, even 1 day, many divine generals would fight to the death for it. This jade slip is very precious not only for the divine generals, but also for divine emperors. Like Jinling's father, who is called Emperor Golden Snake, although he is one of 108 divine emperors, it would take him about 10 years to get 1 jade slip. It takes about 10 years for Emperor Golden Snake to get 1 jade slip." Jian Wushuang was shocked and asked, "Does it mean that this jade slip is also very important for the Emperor Fengxiao?" Of course. Qinghua nodded and said, "Although the Emperor Fengxiao is a superior emperor and his strength is much stronger than the Emperor Golden Snake's, it's still not that easy for him to get 1 jade slip. To my great surprise, he gave it to you. It is like a meat pie falling from the sky." Jian Wushuang looked solemn. He was also confused why Emperor Fengxiao gave such a precious thing to him. However, Jian Wushuang didn't know that his sword skill had helped Emperor Fengxiao comprehend a sword movement which had bothered him for a long time. So compared to the jade slip, this sword movement was much more important. In Emperor Fengxiao's mind, even if he could get another 3 or 4 jade slips, he might still be unable to comprehend the sword movement. That was why the Emperor Fengxiao gave the jade slip to Jian Wushuang as a gift, since he was happy to understand the sword movement. Qinghua, just now you mentioned that the jade slip was related to the Earth Core Palace, so what is that? Jian Wushuang asked. Earth Core Palace is the biggest opportunity in the holy place. No point for you to ask more details because we are going to the holy place now, and later you can figure it out for yourself. You will realize the value of this jade slip, Qinghua answered. Great, then let's go to the holy place. Jian Wushuang smiled with high expectations.